Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In today's video I'll be showing you how to make this A-line dress with pleats and pockets. If you're interested in this video, please keep on watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and also share this video. Now we'll go ahead to drafting of the pattern on the fabric. I'll be imputing my measurement, and first I'll be starting with my shoulder line, or you can call it my starting line, and I'll be marking my armhole line or my bust line measurement, that is 9 inches. I'll be marking my shoulder to waist, which is 16 inches, and I'll be marking my shoulder to hip, which is 23 inches, and my shoulder to length, which is 40 inches. I'll go ahead and rule a straight line just to indicate what I've marked earlier. After ruling the lines, I'll go ahead and impute my measurement, which includes my shoulder measurement, which is 16 inches, divided by 2, that will give me 8 inches. I'll mark that 8 inches on my starting line or on my shoulder line. That's the first line I drew. I'll mark the 8 inches. I've done that already in the video. And now I'll go ahead to mark my neck width, which is 4 inches. And I'll mark my shoulder measurement, that's 8 inches, also on my bust line to get a straight line for my armhole. After doing that, I'll go ahead and mark my neck depth. For the back, I used 1.5 inches, that's 1.5 inches, and for the front, I marked 5 inches for the front neck depth. Although I still went further down by 3 inches. Later in the video, you'll see why I went further down. So right now, I marked my shoulder slope of 1 inch, and I connected a straight line to make the neck width of 4 inches. And right now, I'll locate the midpoint of my armhole, which is 4 inches. Now the armhole is 8 inches after removing 1 inch, so I'll go inwards by 0.5 inches and just connect the 3 dots together. I marked my bust line measurement, which is 42 inches divided by 4. That will give me 10.5. I marked it, and that's how I was able to achieve that armhole curve. Now I'll go to my waistline and mark my waist, which is 38 inches. That will give me 9.5. And I went to my hip to mark my 44 inches, which will give me 11 inches. And I went down to my length to mark 12 inches. My hip measurement plus 1 inch, that will give me 12 inches. So I went ahead to add 2-inch allowance on all the measurements, and I went ahead to connect the lines. Please watch the video on how I connect my lines and how I draw my curve so that you don't make a mistake while curving yours. This is my first YouTube video, and if you like what you're watching, you're gaining value, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to like, share, and leave me a good comment. If you have any questions regarding the drafting of this dress or the fabric I use, please leave it in the comment section. I'll be sure to reply. Now that I'm done drafting the front pattern, I'll go ahead and place my front pattern on my back pattern, and I'll just cut it out from there. Just keep watching the video. You see the way I placed my front pattern on my back pattern, and then I went ahead to cut it out. A quick tip I wanted to add when drafting your A-line is do not add too much allowance when drafting your A-line. When you want to add allowance, maximum 3 inches allowance is enough to draft an A-line dress. Otherwise, it will come out looking so big on the person or on the client. So when drafting your A-line pattern, please ensure to add 1.5 inches, 2 inches, maximum 3 inches. If the person is on a big size, you can use 3 inches, but if the person is of medium/large, you can use 2 inches. If the person of a smaller size, you can use 1 inch. So now I go ahead and cut out my pattern, just as you can see in the video, and now I'm done with cutting both the front and the back pattern. I'll move ahead to cut out my neckline. In the next clip you see, I'll be notching. I'm actually notching all my measurements, my waist, my hip, and I'll go ahead now to cut out my neckline. I'm cutting the front neckline, and I'll go ahead and mark 3 inches downwards because I want it to have a particular style of neck, and I marked 3 inches for it. You can go 4 inches, you can do 5 inches, depends on what works for you. But for me, 3 inches is okay, so I went ahead to slit it 3 inches down. So now I'm done with both the front and the back pattern. I'll go ahead just to trim my front armhole just to give it a very nice shape for the front armhole. After doing that, I'll go ahead to cut out my interface for both the front and the back pattern. So now I lay my front pattern on a fabric, an extra fabric. So I just cut out the neckline following the shape, and I just eyeball the amount of allowance I wanted for the neckline. You can do 3 inches, you can mark 3 inches, you can mark 4 inches, but from the look of what I have, I marked close to like 3 inches for my interface. So I'm just cutting out my interface for both the front and the back pattern. You can make use of a bias tape if you don't have extra fabric for an interface, or you can make use of a normal lining if you don't have extra fabric to use. Well, for me, I have extra fabric to work with. That's why I'm using the fabric to cut out the interface. And with that, we are done with both the front and the back pattern. Now I'll go ahead and cut out the sleeve. I'll be making use of a basic sleeve for this dress. So I went ahead to mark my cap's height, which is my bust round circumference, which is 42 inches divided by 12. That will give me 3.5. So I marked 3.5 as my cap height, and I went ahead to mark 13.5 inches for my sleeve length. So I'll mark that as well. So on the cap's hat line, I'll go ahead and mark my armhole round measurement. I marked 11.5 for a reason. That's because I have extra allowance of 2 inches added for my allowance, but I'll make use of 1.5 inches for my extra allowance on the armhole. You can do your exact armhole, depends on what works for you. So right now I'll go ahead and curve my arm, my sleeve. So I went ahead to curve my sleeve, and I went ahead to mark my sleeve round. So I marked 8 inches. My sleeve round is usually 14 inches, but I went ahead to just mark 8 inches. So went ahead to cut out my sleeve, and it came out really looking nice. So I'll go ahead, and I'm done cutting out the sleeve. I'll just be showing you how I cut out the pocket. I already cut out the pockets that will be inserting into the dress, the pocket and the fabric I'll be using to pleat the lower part of the dress. So I made use of 10 inches and 8 inches for my pocket. You can go beyond that, you can do higher than that. Now for my pleat, I have 45 inches in 4 places, and for the width, I have 6.5 inches. I'll be hemming the down part of the dress after attaching the pleat, so that's why I have four pieces of fabric, 45 inches length. 45 times 4, please do the calculation, that's the amount you need. But later on, I added up to like 20 inches to my pleat fabric. So I went ahead to do that. Right now I'm going to sew the interface to the dress. I'll go ahead and do that off camera. So when I'm done sewing it, I'll be showing you how it looks like. For your interface, if you're a beginner and you're just learning fashion, you're new into making a dress, please use pins to hold down your interface to your main fabric. I'm already used to this, that's why I didn't bother using a pin. But if you are new to sewing, please make use of pin to attach your main fabric to your interface. So I've gone ahead to sew it. I'm just showing you how I notch my necklines, both the front and the back, and I'll be turning it inside out. I'll be cutting off the edges so that my neckline can come out looking well and neat. After turning my fabric, the neckline inside out, I went ahead to give it a good press. Just make sure you are making use of a steam iron. A steam iron will do a very good job in ironing and bringing out your fabric. So I went ahead to give it a good press, and this is how it's looking after I give it a good press. So right now I'll be attaching my shoulder. Please just watch how I attach my shoulder. Don't make a mistake while attaching your shoulders. If you're a beginner and you're new to sewing, please you can pin down the shoulders before taking it to your sewing machine to sew it. But because I'm already used to this, I didn't bother using a pin. If you're a beginner, please make use of a pin. I'll go ahead and sew down the shoulder lines and I'll come back and show you how it's looking. After joining the shoulder, I'll go ahead and attach my sleeves. I'll hem the sleeves and I will sew the sides together. I'll be doing that off camera and I'll be showing you how it's looking when I'm done. Here we have the fabric already sewn. I've joined the shoulders, I've joined the sleeve. It came out really looking nice. Now we go to the hem. On this hem, I'll be pleating the hem of the dress, so I'll go ahead and do that. I'll just be showing you a little clip of how I plait it. They are little pleats, very little pleats. If you want to make yours come out exactly the way mine came out, you have to use little small pleats. Before attaching the pleat, I went ahead to join the 4 pieces of fabric together. Please be careful while joining your fabric together. Our advice, if you are new, I advise you pin it down before joining them. So after joining them, I went ahead to pleat it on the dress. Now, if there's another tip in this video that I want you to take home with you about pleats is that when you are pleating, pleating requires patience. You have to be patient when you are doing your pleats. Don't rush while doing your pleats because it might come out looking not as good as you expect it to. But if you take your time in making the pleats and doing the pleats, it comes out looking nice. And please, when you have to stop your machine, please stop your machine so your pleats can come out looking nice. And after pleating, I went ahead to give it a good press. I went ahead to iron the whole of the fabric all over again along with the pleats. Now that I'm done with the pleats, you'll see how it turned out. This is exactly what I wanted, how I wanted it to look like. So it came out really looking nice. I love the pleats that I made for this dress. So I went ahead to hem the down part of the pleats and it came out really looking nice. This is the finished look. If you like it, please subscribe and thanks for watching.